Our esteemed speaker, Yogi Surajnath, Guru Budhnathji, is going to be enlightening us on the topic of Gorakh Sabadi, the sayings of Gorakh Nath. Yogi Surajnath, Guru Budhnathji, was initiated into the Nath school of Gorakhnath by Nari Guru Yogi Budhnathji in Trimbak and received Nath kundals from Dada Guru Yogi Bijnathji in 1992. He is from the Maath of Yogi Surajnath, Guru Budhnathji at Pimpri Gawali district, Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. He is the author of Insight into Meditation and Yoga and co-authored with Bhagavan Nathji, Ian Duncan, his sincere disciple. Gorakh Sabadi, the sayings of Gorakh Nath. Thank you for allowing me that time, Yogi Surajnath ji. Now the floor is all yours.
Ji, I could speak, I could listen to you, but I couldn't see my video. If it is just a speaking talk, all right. Or if it is a video talk, then you need to do something. Done speaking is here on my screen, and your microphone is unmuted. Your video is stopped. It is like this here. So, is there any technical thing to be done from your side? Please see.
I don't seem to have any restrictions on your video, but I can request, I sent you a request to start video. If you can, yes, there you are. We can see you. Can you see us?
All right. I couldn't see anything there from there, but if you see me talking on video and audio, it's all right. Then I think even if I don't see anything on the screen except these things are ongoing like that. Okay.
We see you.
All right. So I start my speech with your kind permission, friends.
Absolutely.
My subject is yes. Should I start?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So I start. Friends, my subject is Gorakh Sabadi, the sayings of Gorakh Nath. And they are about inner life. In fact, life doesn't make a difference like inner and outer. But when it comes to observing life in itself, then thought or learning in time doesn't work. That has its limit. So what Gorakh says about learning of life per se, so that way we say inner learning. In the very first Sabadi, Gorakhnath makes it clear that in our consciousness as a whole, there are only two basic or fundamental possibilities, functionings that are possible for us to work with. And they are one, thinking, and the other one is just attending. Thought and attention, these are two fundamentally different capabilities in our consciousness. They are basic. This thought can be speeded up, can be slowed down, can be suspended as in samadhi or unman, etc. But thought is movement in time, even if it is suspended time. It is not the ending of time in itself, it is becoming. Speeded, slower, or suspended becoming. Thought or thinking is a part of the brain operating on the basis of the known past. So that way Gorakh speaks in his very first Sabadi that basati or the manifesting, basati na sunyam, sunyam na basati, agama agochar aisa, gagana shikhar mahi balaka bolayata ka namadhar hoge kaisa. The basati, and he clears that these thinking and observing or thought and attention, these are fundamentally different things, different capabilities. So basati or manifesting or thinking, feeling, sensations, thoughts in moment in time is not emptiness. And this attention is said to be as emptiness because attention is Attention in itself is free from the known, free from the past. And attention can use thought or thinking, but thinking never can come unto attention. This is basic. So this attention basati, the attention or the thinking is not emptiness, and repeat, emptiness is also not thinking. So stress, it is stressed, it is made fundamentally clear. And then only these two possibilities. In thought, it is time, it is valued, it is, can be right or wrong, good or bad, more or less thinking. But attending, just attending what is going happening, maybe the thrilling of sound of insects, or this the very long this train running on a long distance, or this bird singing. If I have to attend what is happening within and around, any feelings, any sensations, breathing, or this, then thought has no role. Thought cannot do it. And this in itself is pure. It is not valued. Attention is invaluable, not valued in the sense it is invaluable. There is no value as right or wrong, good or bad, more or less to attention. Attention is the wholeness of the brain when it is free from the past, and it in itself it is working. It is invaluable. It is free from the dirt of time. And this is so apparent, so clear. And this is not thinking, this is not thought, this is not basati. So in our with these two possibilities, our life goes on, but they are fundamentally different. Even then, it is a fact that most of our life is dominated by thought. Most of most human beings' life is unfortunately dominated by thought, and this possibility of attention, just attending, is hardly inquired into and learned about, tried with and learned about. This is a pity of humanity. Thought has capacity. Gorakh says thought has capacity to think, but on the basis of the past, the known, which has its use in day-to-day life. Without thinking, our day-to-day life is impossible. But despite all its capabilities of thinking, discriminating, analyzing, judging, waiting, calculating, etc., it has no potential to come onto and live in the present. So Gorakh says in a Sabadi, Chant achanta hi upuje. Thought arises from non-thought. This thinking and attention, attending, this goes together, but thinking is dominating. So thought goes along with attention, but dominating attention. Chanta sabajugakshin. Thinking, thought is the sorrow of all ages, all beings. Yogi chanta bisare. A yogi gives up thought, puts the thought or thinking in its right place and forgets about it, comes to attention again and again without any ideal that attention should continue all the time. No, this body mind is a machinery. It cannot be kept in the same gear all the time. Ups and downs need to be there. Naturally, they are there. But when we have passion, silent passion, for the sake of, we don't know about supreme intelligence, yet we have not talked about supreme intelligence or God. We are talking about just what is, what Gorakh says. The sense of Gorakh is a Siddha. And the Siddha school and Buddha school, these are fundamentally, basically one and the same. Their sense, essential sense is absolutely the same. So anyway, this we have not talked about absolute intelligence or God, the divine. No. For that, Gorakh in this very first of this says that Taka navadhar hoge kaisa. In absolutely emptied mind, that supreme intelligence awakens, unfolds on its own, reveals on its own. But who can name that? Who can name him? Indescribable. Even attention is indescribable. Thought could be described, could be narrated, could be valued, could be positioned, could be judged, could be talked about this or that way. But there is no way to talk about attention. Attention could be lived. It is not known. It is never the known. it can be lived, but it is not the known. This is fundamental. And this attention, this thinking has tests. It can be good or bad, liking, pleasing or paining. When thinking is said, it implies all our music, listening, entertaining, that feelings implied in that music, or we talked with each other, things implied into that, or what we eat, consume, drink, all these things of what we name and form. The thought or thinking is the field of time, is the field of name and form, so that the basati or what we live actually in actuality, that is not denied, but that is the limit of that thing, and what it is needs to be understood. So it is time movement, it is an impermanent movement, changing movement, so uncertain movement, not actually absolutely secure. But despite this, we need to find security in day-to-day life in the field of time also, but it is by nature uncertain, anything may happen. And attention is not so. We cannot value it. That is shunyata, emptiness. And then with absolute, what attention could do? Attention being nothing in itself, whatever the things of this basati or the thought or thinking comes up in attention, attention being emptiness, nothing, it's a pull. It does nothing but it's a natural pull for all things through our consciousness, in our consciousness mind, that they are pulled within, they are flown, they are being streamed up from the consciousness, and in the fire of observation, when they meet to the fire of observation, attention, emptiness, nothing, they are absorbed. This is the law of nature. And in complete absorption of the mind, complete emptying of the mind, the supreme intelligence or the divine, Gorakh doesn't name that anyway, but it reveals, and Gorakh says that it's like a birth of a newly born, it's like a newly born child, revelation, and there is no way to describe that. Gagana shikhara mahi balak bole, taka navadhara hoge kaisa, in that empty consciousness, the, the revelation of that supreme, the divine is there, but there is no way to describe that. Who can describe that? I remember here this in the 11th century that Master Eckhart, German philosopher, said the on the very same line that why do you pray about God? Everything you say about God is untrue. That way, it is not denied. Supreme or the divine is not denied, but even we cannot talk about or describe the attention, presence of the mind. We can live it, but we cannot describe it. Where is the way to describe supreme? And these three things are fundamentally different planes. It is not that basati is emptiness or this the manifesting or name and form is emptiness. No, they are fundamentally different. And from these two as well, but emptiness, this name and form and emptiness, the supreme, the divine, the ultimate truth is also fundamentally different than these two. However, this name and form or thinking cannot come onto attention, but attention can use thinking. Attention can use thinking very purely if thought is not dominating attention. If we understand what attention, Gorakh Sabadi says, this Swami Shila Aluni, the master's present or this masterly present of attention is said to be tasteless, saltless. It has no taste of its own, but it could absorb every taste of pleasing and paining of the vasati of name and form of thought and time. It has potential to absorb. So this attention, to live by attention, observation, meditation is the ending of thought, the ending of time. And that way, describing this, what this observation, attention, or this emptiness is, Gorakh in Sabadis puts these things very precisely, that observation is the mother, darsana mai, this attending, observing with skill and diligence. We will look into its skill also, practical thing towards the end. But let us understand this theory so that we catch hold of practicing as well, and we live that with fullness of our brain without any doubt in the mind. Doubt is a good thing, but doubt has its limit. Doubt falls in the field of thought and time, in the field of thinking. So in the presence, in attention, there is no place for doubt, no place for thinking anyway. Thought cannot touch that, cannot come onto that plane. But despite this, understanding the place of thought in daily life and its limit, otherwise that it is a moment in time, it cannot come onto the present. We can live, we can come on to be living on the present, in the present, moment to moment. So these things, these matters of understanding about the consciousness are basic. Thought has capacity to design things for our day-to-day life, judge, weight, calculate, design. And does this mean this in this book, what way to design this machinery, this building, what way to design? All right, but does this mean that thought should design ways in the name of God? Bhakti yoga, Raj yoga, Dhyan yoga, Lay yoga, Mantra yoga, Tantra yoga, Allah yoga, Talla yoga, and whatever. These designs, thought could design these things, but they are moment in time, and they all of that have no potential to come onto and live in the present. So when we understand the place and limit of thought, we come on to live in this pure awareness. Attention or observation is pure awareness. You see, while driving a car or walking on foot, even driving a car or motorbike, some machinery, if we, and there are this knowledge, all this memory, driving skills, technical skills, traffic rules, destination, direction, these are all things of learning in time of thought, and they are recorded in, we use them. On that basis of that, we drive skillfully. Even the skill is practiced and mastered. But despite all this, while driving a car or walking on a road, driving a motorbike, if we lose attention for a second, second is a big time. If we lose attention even for a half second, we may have an accident. And this attention, the learning of attention, we can live it, but there is no way to learn attention taking time, giving thought. That is to to execute, to practice thought, like that driving, technical skill, memorizing traffic rules, etc. There is no way to come onto and live attention. Attention is pure energy. So when we and this thought cannot touch it, but attention can use thought. Attention can use all thoughts maneuvering, and thought thinking, and that its maneuvering could be right or wrong, good or bad, but attention has no value. Attention is valueless, it is invaluable. This is fundamental. Let us get these fundamental things about our consciousness. Everything we have to do in our life, whether it is religious, spiritual work, or day-to-day work, doesn't make difference. But this is to be done basically through the mind, through the consciousness. And when we are not clear into our consciousness, what its capabilities, basic capabilities, its potentials are, then we are dominated and driven by thought in the name of traditions, beliefs, and this and that religious traditions, and they become our ego matter. And that way, that is thought. Chant is the thinking of all people, all times. Chanta, chanta, and it goes. You see, this thinking also goes alongside attention. Without attention, we drive a car, but in that all, this is that. We cannot say that we cannot attain, we cannot meditate, we cannot observe. By observation we live, but thought is dominating. So we travel 100 kilometers of car in a car by driving it. Every time his attention is there, but thought is dominating all that attention. And that way, this thought in day-to-day life also, which has no capacity to come onto and live in the present, this pure living path, pure holy virgin living. So that way, this thought and time this compassionate nature is compassionate. Let me take this another thing in between our talk. Interestingly, this thought of our idea of this Bismillahir Rahman Rahim is a pleasing, soothing idea, a good idea, but it is just an idea, it is not truth. To the point speaking, Kudrat Rahman Rahim, nature is compassionate, nature is compassion. So this thinking is also a part of nature, and compassion, compassionate nature is always awake there. But we have to inquire and learn life. That way we are opening to ourselves to these planes of compassion, the plane of compassion in time, thinking, thought, being compassionate. Being compassionate, it is thinking, affectionate, sympathetic. That way, compassionate is good, but that has its limit. Being affectionate, compassion, flowering out of attention, living attention, observation, wholly, purely, with freedom from the known, with the alakh sense. Let us understand this terminology of Gorakh or the Nath school or the Siddha Buddha school. The alakh sense is basic, fundamental. As in the Buddhist school, this fundamental of this impermanence, anicca, insight into impermanence, everything is changing, is basic. So that way this alakh sense is also basic, and they are fundamentally the alakh sense and this anicca or insight into impermanence, they are basically the same. Alakh, the word alakh comes from lakhana, lakhana, lakh from lakhana. Lakhana means to see, to observe, to see, to look, to listen, to hear, to feel. And so lakhit, lakha hua means past of the lakhana, which is seen, listened, heard, known, put into the memory, record, data, past. So by knowing the place of that lakh, the seen, the known, and understanding its limit, freedom from the lakh, freedom from the seen, the known, the which has been heard, listened, known, recorded in the memory, freedom from that by knowing its place in daily life and its limit. Otherwise, that is the insight into that freedom from the known by knowing its place and limit is the alakh sense. That's all. This is so simple, fundamental. So we are clear to come on to and live this tasteless, saltless beauty of attention, presence of the mind, without any ideal that it should go continuously or it should be continuous. Why it is not being continuous? That is also desire. In the presence of mind, desire cannot touch it. Desire and thought goes together. They are inseparable. Thought and time, when we say the matter of time, kal. In a Gorakh Sabadi, Gorakh says, Panchatatta ki kaya vinashi rakhi na sakya koi. This body of 5 elements is perishable. Nobody can keep it everlasting. No, by nature. Kala davana jab jnana prakasha. The ending of time. Insight into the ending of time. Kala davana, the burning of time, the ending of time. The wisdom regarding this insight into the matter of insight into this, Vedanta Gorakh says. That's all Gorakh is saying. As the Buddha says, Aganihi Yoga, Aganihi, the Buddha says, Vedana Pachaya Tanna, Vedana Pachaya Panya. With experiencing sensations, feelings, we could go into desire, or experiencing feelings, sensations, we could go into Panya, that is attention, presence of the mind, observation. In the same way, Gorakh says, Pavana means movements, Binda means sensations, and Agni means fire. They mean basically the same thing, that is sensations, feelings, bhava, pavana. Agni hi jog, Agni hi bhog, pavana hi jog, pavana hi bhog, benda hi jog, benda hi bhog. These sensations, these movements, these vibrations, all this is what we are, our consciousness is the moment in time. When it could go, this movement of this fire, these sensations, these vibrations, this movement could go with the desire into time, or it has an option, it has a choiceless option to understand the place and limit of thinking and thought and time, and to come onto attention, to live the presence, and that way, yoga, yoga. This yoga, Gorakh uses the word yoga, deen, religion, dhamma, dham. These are basically the same words, absolutely the same words. But when any label gets attached to these words, beautiful words, maybe from any language, like that Hindu religion or Vedic religion or Islamic Christian religion, dharma or deen or Islamic deen, then that deen goes away, that religion, that purity of the deen of yoga goes away, and these false things in the name of religion, deen, this Dhamma. Yoga comes in between. Likewise, you understand that these big texts, Gita and whatever, they design and present us with Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Tantra Yoga, and this and that yogas, or 4 yogas, or 10 yogas, or whatever. Thought can design paths. But let's understand this basic, that there is no way to come unto the present. There is no way to come to observation, to come to attention. And there is no way inwardly, spiritually, in the religious sense, in the learning of life per se, there is no way other than attention, presence of the mind, observation. There is no other way other than presence, attention, observation, and there is no way to come unto presence. You understand this simple thing? And you are clear. You are clear. Aisa hoi bulave nath. Gorakh says, whoever is like this, open and learning, so that open to observe and learn, come here, dear, come here. Let us go together, live it and understand it. And then if the mind agrees, we roam together, otherwise go out alone. Man manai to sangi ramao, nahi to ramao akela. If the mind agrees, roam together, go together. Whatever mind agrees, roam, go together, but being open, free from the known. And otherwise go off alone. Whoever lives like this, Gorakh says, he is my guru. It is not an ego matter. It is not doesn't Gorakh say to please us. Whoever leaves the presence by understanding it, its significance, its importance, its invaluability, its purity. Whoever lives this, come to live it again and again, wholly, with wholeness of the brain, wholeness of the mind. Presence is wholeness, not a part of brain like thinking. Thinking is a part. Presence is wholeness. All our brain needs to be awake. So whoever lives this, रहता हमारे गुरु बोलिए हम रहता का चेला. Whoever lives this life, he is my guru. Whoever lives life, he is my guru. Life as it is, the moment of life as it is, not imagined. I live as his disciple. If the mind agrees, we roam together. Otherwise, go off alone. This basic, more wisdom, call him the guru. Less wisdom, the disciple. No authority and no dependency. In the matter of religious learning and living, we could share with compassion, but what is being shared, whether it is right or wrong, you have to see, we have to see, even if it is said by Gorakh or Buddha or Jiddu or whoever X, Y, Z. There may be good things in traditions, beliefs, maybe partial insights are there. All right, good. Let us respect them, and let us respect these masters, these saints, even everybody, every person with human dignity. But we should not depend psychologically on anybody. Physically, we need to depend. Physically, our life is interdependent. You have arranged all this Rabiat, and I could speak on this. I have taken tea. Somebody prepared tea for me, and all these mosquitoes and these honey flies, they have worked to that the crops, etc., come up. Life is all related, interdependent out there. But inwardly, presence is not dependence at all. Psychologically, no dependence. So in Sabadi, Gorakh clearly says that Birla Jananti Bhedani Bhed, Birla Jananti Daipakached. They are rare who know the difference and non-difference. They are rare who know the difference between two sides. They are rare who know the untold story. Presence of living presence is untold story. We could live it, but it is never told. It is never known. They are rare who know the untold story, and out of this presence of the mind, living it, and that way learning life, they are rare who know insightful and wise words. Birla Jananti Bhedani Bhed, Birla Jananti Dvaipakached, Birla Jananti Akata Kahani, Birla Jananti Sudhi Buddhi Ki Bani. They are rare who know insightful and wise words. And regarding this, in another Sabadi, Gorakh says, in Sabadi number 131, what it is? let us go slowly. Doesn't matter. I don't remember anything. I have worked with all this Bhagavan Nath and me, all this thoroughly, fully. We understand this. Understanding is important, but very few of this. Even though we work together for 33 or 32, 30 years, but even then we remember. Essentially, we understand all this, but we remember very few sabadis. Oh, this is practically. Let me speak. So, पेट की अग्नि विवर्जित दृष्टि की अग्नि खाया ज्ञान गुरु का आगे होता पनी बिरले अवधो पाया abandoning the fire of stomach, the fire of desire, thought and desire, eat with the fire of observation, eat with the fire of observation. The master's way is right before you, right there, right there. But rare avadhus have found it. Abandoning the fire of stomach, eat with the fire of observation, diti drishti observation. The master's way or the masterly way is right before you, but rare avadhus have found it. These sabadis are like this basic, fundamental. They are beyond traditions. And these intellectual birds, they are very clever when it comes to their tradition, danger to these sayings of Buddha, these basic sayings of Buddha, these Gorakh of Jiddu, they are dangerous to our traditions and beliefs. And then they are very clever birds. They put things in the name of Gorakh, like the Siddha Siddhant, false text, Siddhi Siddhant Paddhati, all mix up Vedant, etc., etc. Laksha, instead of alak, it is laksha, aiming, having aim, etc., etc. And that is very much propagated. People know, very scholars know about Siddhi Siddhant Paddhati, and they are hardly, very few people, unfortunately, know Gorakh Sabadi or the sayings of Gorakh Nath. You know the pity, for more than 1,000 years, Buddha's sayings remained, were not present in India. They were missing in India. They were finished up with in India. But thanks to these people around, maybe it is Sri Lanka, maybe it is Burma, maybe it is all Asian countries, and now they are all where they have preserved, they have took care of the sayings of Buddha, and that way they could spread around the world, and they could come in India also. That way these books, Navnath Pothi and Siddhant Paddhati and this and that, they are very much popular. They are propagated by these intellectual birds, traditionalists, ideologues, because they see the basic things like sayings of Buddha and Gorakh and Jiddu, the danger to their tradition. So to avoid that, to safeguard themselves, this ego is very cunning. This thought and ego center is very cunning. They propagate things. They compose books in the name of Gorakh. They insert things in the name of into the sayings of Buddha's Tipitaka or whatever. Fortunately, this Gorakh Sabadi is a brief text, very, very brief text, and this is least interpolated. Least, this is just a little more than 300 sabadis, 2 or 4 lines each sabadi, and they are least interpolated. Even if any interpolation is there, it becomes exposed immediately, and it is known by very few. But it needs to be spread throughout the world, in the hands of all people, like the sayings of Jiddu, like the sayings of Buddha, the Gorakh Sabadis, the sayings of Gorakhnath. We have worked, Bhagavan Nathji and Duncan and myself, we have worked on the sayings of Gorakhnath comprehensively and presented with original sabadis, their transliterations, so poetic, so compact English translations, and wherever needed, notes both in Hindi and English, with some allied articles on the Nath philosophy of Gorakhnath, etc. towards in brief. Otherwise, it is all little bit towards the end. Otherwise, it is all Gorakh Sabdi text. Anyway, to come to the point, this presence or observation is emptiness. So, about emptiness or shunyata, Gorakh describes Sunij Mai, Sunij Bap, Suni Niranjan Apayap, Suni Kay Parchay Bhaya Satir, Nihachal Jogi, Gahar Gambhir. Emptiness is the mother, emptiness the father, emptiness is flawless by itself, pure energy, flawless by itself. Calm comes with insight into emptiness. Motionless yogi or seeker, a sadhak, a sadhu, any person like this. Motionless yogi, profound, dignified. Sunij Mai, Sunij Bap, Suni Niranjan Apayap, Sunikay parchay bhaya sathir, nihachal jogi ghar gambhir. Emptiness is the mother, emptiness the father. Emptiness is flawless by itself. Motionless yogi, calm comes with insight into emptiness. Motionless yogi, profound, dignified. And this insight into emptiness, this insight into the presence of mind, which we could live while driving a car, we live. But we are hardly aware that this is so invaluable. And to learn life per se, we need to live this, understanding this its significance. And that is what to live by observation, to live by meditation is to live lively, to live the way of meditation. The way, it is not any way, but to make sense, we have to say it is the way. And there is only the way, and the way by observation, emptiness, presence of the mind, and there is no other way. All rest of the ways are designed, projected, practiced by thought, and they, whoever move by them is bound to move in time, in the field of time and sorrow. And there are many ups and downs in the field of thought. Samadhi is also there in the field of thought. This samadhi, this slowing down of thought, suspension of thought is samadhi. This could be used in presence, as Buddha says in Shila, Samadhi, Prajna, virtue, presence, equanimity of the mind, and Prajna, presence of the mind, observing what is. Like that, this Alak, Niranjan, Avadhu, freedom from the known by knowing its place and limit. So presence of the mind, and that presence of the mind is Niranjan energy, Niranjan, desireless, colorless energy. Niranja, sorrow, time is sorrow, becoming ignorant. So it is sorrowless energy. Presence is free of sorrow, time. Niranjan, anjan means mal, tent, dirt. This presence of awareness is dirtless, tentless, it is desireless, it is colorless, it is sorrowless. So it is pure energy. That way the word Niranjan is. In the word itself, all these things are there. And the third word is, in this aphorism, is Avadhu. Ava plus Dhu. Dhu means cleansing. The word Avadhu is defined by the Buddha earlier. Dhuto idhuto kileso va puggulo kileso dhununo va dhammo. The principle of nature by which this mental impression sankharas are being emptied, cleansed, dhunan, cleansing. That principle is Avadhu, or whoever person does this work with that understanding, that thing, that purity of living, observation, Niranjan Tattva, freedom from the name, this Anitya Bodh, lives by it, lives the way of meditation and cleanses the mind. He is also Dhut, Avadhu. That way the word Avadhu comes from. Likewise, the word Nath is also defined by the Buddha. Attahi attano natho, attahi attano gati. You are your master. Who else could be your master? Physically, we need to depend, but psychologically, no dependence. You know, this Sanatan or Sanatan, Bhagavan, Alak, Niranjan, Avadhu, these Siddha Buddha words, basic words, they are not in all four Vedas. Vedas don't know these words. In a Rigveda, Bhagavan comes for one time, but in the sense of Bhagavan only. That is lucky. And nothing to do with Bhagavan as Bhaggarago, Bhaggadoso, Bhaggamoho, Anasavo, burning desire, burning attraction, burning repulsion, burning moha, delusion. And that way, whoever burns this consciousness, he is Bhagwan, Bhagwanatena Uchati. So the sense of Siddhas and Buddhas is basically absolutely the same. And this, what is, you see, what is happening within thought, movement, feeling, sensations, thoughts go in a corner of the brain. And it takes all of our consciousness, dominates all of our consciousness. Whatever is being felt, pleasing or paining, immediately reactions. And that way desire, that way becoming, time, becoming. Desire and thought is time. So becoming, sorrow and ignorance. It is the moment of becoming, sorrow and ignorance in the field of time and impermanence, time and change. So anitya, insecure. That way, and presence is secure by itself. Presence is untouched by time. So physically, in the field of name and form, it is all insecure by nature. Despite that, we need to find security physically, but presence is by itself secure, well, it is pure, vulnerable energy. We could understand and live it. Otherwise, presence is vulnerable like a child. It cannot dominate you. Thought can dominate. We see domination of thought and wars and all that things. Presence is no domination. It is compassion. It is love. It is beyond compassion, love, beyond thought and time, beyond this any capabilities of thought, being compassionate, being affectionate, etc. They are good. But presence, the compassion, the love that flows or flowers through attention, through meditation, through observation, is beyond any capabilities of thought. Thought cannot understand this. But when we get insight into observation, we work on it, we live by it, then it can use thought. And then the love that flowers through life, through our relationships, that has different quality, that has different smell. It is smell in the gold. About this knowledge, feel, thought, Gorakh Sabadi says that Jnana Vairagi Tribhuvanasar. Knowledge, wisdom by thinking, thought is also a good thing. That's so vast, immense field. But it is all in time. And it is the essence of three words, Tribhuvanasar. Atita Vairagi Utraipar. The Vairagi, Viragi, Vitaragi, whoever ascetic, who lives by presence, Atit, timelessness, who lives by presence, he Uttaraipar, he goes beyond. He is from beyond. There is beyondness. So this importance of thought and learning by thought is understood. It is not that it is hated, it is negated. It is understood. It is a sense of the three words. What are the three words? Three in a lok, three lok. In first Sabadi, in the beginning Sabadi is Gorakh uses three words. The three words are not upper word, this word, and some lower word. These are all thought fancies. Actuality of the three words is Trilok, Trilok is the word of thought and desire, by which we generally, most of us, live. The word of thought and desire is the first word. The second word is the word of this mind and body and mind, consciousness as a whole, of which thought and desire is a part. These are all time, but thought and desire is a part of body and mind, consciousness as a whole. And the third is this name and form as a whole. Time and name and form, nama roop as a whole, of which this body and mind and this thought and desire are parts. So these are three words. They are not separate basically. They are related. They affect each other. They affect each other. So that way, these three words, Tinalok, three words. These are the three words, and the presence is beyond these three words. Presence of the living, attention, to live by attention, is to live beyond these three words. All the name and form, beyond thought and desire, beyond body and mind, beyond this name and form, but not away from name and form, not away from what feelings, consciousness, feelings, sensations we feel. No, otherwise that is movement in thought. We can design God and we can find pleasure into that ideas, traditions, beliefs, but that is not the way. The way, not get away from presence. Presence has no idea, so it lives with what goes on in and around. And these are sensations, feelings. So it lives with what these presence is awake to what happens within. And these are feelings, sensations. They are impermanent, changing, but they are not a delusion. They are not a Brahm. They are not mithya. They are actuality. Thought, thinking in the form of words and picture is had its place, and it is not actuality. But the things of feeling, sensations, along with thought and words and pictures are there. They are actuality. When I look towards you, towards this thing, then it is actual looking. But when I turn my most, and then memory is there of that actuality of that things, what I have seen, that is memory. Then that memory has its place. Without that, our day-to-day life is impossible. But that is not reality. That is not actuality. That is not fact. That reality has the words and pictures, as memory has its place and limit in day-to-day life. Without that, life is not possible. But that has its limit. So we live by understanding its place and limit, and then we live by freedom from the known, but not away from this, what is happening within these feelings and sensations, this consciousness movement. We live by this. That way, we are not away from the life, the movement of life as it is, and we are deepening in the fire of observation, attention, presence, emptiness, absorbing this feeling, sensation by itself, learning to vulnerably, being open, intelligent. Being open is intelligent. Alak sense is being open, and that is being intelligent really to learn life. So for this for 10 minutes, we will have this questions and answers session. But for this remaining 3 minutes, 9-7 is there. Let us look into some practical aspect of this observation, learning, time, matter, and this feeling, sensations, consciousness, and then what way to work out it practically every time while waking, sleeping, traveling, working. When working, we have to give attention to the work. That way works happens good, right? But in many of the works, we could be meditating and working as well. So we have to be light unto ourselves. As the Buddha says, be a light unto yourself, atta deepo bhava. In the same sense, Gorakh Sabadi number 276 says, Jagat Guru Manhi Mandek. Look for the word teacher within yourself. You will see that in India, they are very much in hurry to become word teachers. Jagat Guru, word teachers. Nonsense. What kind of word teachers? Intellectual birds. Jagat Guru Manhi Mandek. And it is everybody's responsibility to learn about life, for the learning of life, to be Guru in oneself. Word teacher, to look for the word teacher within oneself. And it is not an ego matter. It is not to depend on authority. And that way, no. So to come to practical thing, Jagat Guru Manhi Mandek, Atta Deepo Bhava, be a light unto yourself. Look for the word teacher within yourself. And like that, you see, the book of mind is open book, every time opening to itself. The books by this, they have their place, but they have their limit. There is Sabadi, Gorakh Sabadi, we have explained that thing. So this book of life, which expresses through our body, through our face, is open for everybody to look, to read, to look, and that way learn about it, learning it. It is never complete learning. It is in the presence, the completion of learning, but it is always open to learning. Completion of learning, but always open to learning that way. All the rest learnings are in time partial. They are never complete. But this learning of life per se, through observation, through attention, is complete in itself then and there, and it is always open to learning without ego matter. So you see, this breathing is there, and these expressions are there. This is language of feelings is universal. Language of words, pictures, Chinese, English, Hindi, African, Arabian, etc., etc. They are different languages, but the language of feelings in all human beings, all creatures, is the same. Another thing about this language of feelings that, or sensations, expressions, is that we may commit mistakes to know about feelings in other beings. Maybe within there is something expressing something else, but there is no possibility of committing a mistake in knowing about feelings in oneself. So with the breathing, you are naturally aware of these feelings, expressions. More than this breathing, this tip of the upper lip, the sensation in the center of the upper lip, maybe vibrating like little current like. If you don't get it, maybe feel whatever you like, or breathing is there. If this sensation you get it, it is a master key. Let me say it is master key. So with this, you become, it is sensation vibrating every time. All sensations, feelings change, thoughts change, but this sensation goes on vibrating every time. Don't believe, observe, learn yourself. And then with this, when we are aware of this, this is tasteless, saltless. Thought cannot understand its significance, but when we live it, by it, all this consciousness starts boiling up and exposing itself, and the fire of observation being perceived, being felt, and getting dissolved. Try with some vipassana meditation. Get this insight into meditation. Gorakh Sabadi, the sayings of Gorakh Nath, explaining these things very minutely. We have composed Bhagavan Nath and Ian Duncan and me. Then other text, insight into meditation and yoga. That is another text in the PDF form. These are all in the PDF forms. So it's time for you, friends, now to question, and we fun that way, understand each other and share. Please.
Thank you so much, Yogi Surajnath ji. That was beautiful and powerful and so enlightening. Thank you so much for that beautiful talk on Gorakh Sabadi, the sayings of Gorakh Nath. I will open it up to the other participants for questions, but I had a question, if I may ask.
Yeah, please, please.
I
Ask.
wanted to know, thank you. I wanted to know a little bit about the life of Gorakh Nath ji. If you could tell us a little bit about his life.
Yes, a good question. In Gorakh Sabadi, sayings of Gorakh Nath, they are preserved, but it is an unfortunate fact that we know very little about Gorakh Nath's historical facts, but he was a disciple of Machendranath. He himself says, Machendranath found Gorakh Nath early in his early life, took care of him, gave him education, and when Gorakh Nath became in a very young age, enlightened master, then Machendranath backed himself and give full field to Gorakhnath to work on, to go with. It is the very same thing happened with in the modern times with Lidbiter and Jiddu. Lidbiter found out Jai Krishnamurti, that ordinary child among many children at border of Adyar near Madras. And then they, any Bajant and this Lidbiter educated him, took care of him, and when Krishnamurti Jiddu become enlightened master, they simply backed themselves all. And Krishnamurti then he dissolved that order of the star and this gave up this theosophy and all that things created by thought, moving in thought. He thrown away all of that, and then we have seen the master Jiddu Krishnamurti after this Nitya, his brother's death, and that way. Anyway, we are staying in a way, but Gorakhnath's historical things are very less known by us, but he was the disciple of Machendranath, and his time is around 10th century, not AD, around 10th century AD. And he traveled through all Indian subcontinent from Kabul to Sri Lanka and from this Burma to Iran's border, like that. He traveled all way. Wait a minute, please. It's something happening here. Okay. Are you listening me? Done.
Yes,
Good.
we can listen to you. We can hear
There
you.
was
We
some
can see you.
we could hear you. So Gorakhnath's time is around 10th century, and Gorakhnath traveled all through Indian subcontinent. Each and every village knows about Gorakhnath and Machendranath and Naths and Siddhas. But unfortunately, there are many myths and many stories, and that kind of this fabricated texts are also there. They are much known to the people, but because of love towards Gorakh, even then in Quran, let us not speak about Quran if they don't like, but we see that this Bible is, they are free from the Bible textical, this authority of Bible, but they love Jesus. That way people love Gorakh, but they hardly know what Gorakh says, and these are Gorakh Sabadis, the sayings of Gorakh. But to understand these two, we need to give our complete attention. We cannot drive a car without being reckless by thought only. We have to be attentive. We have to understand all the things, so that likewise, on the way of life, religion, we have to understand basic things, and that way any average person, it is not for intellectual birds only. Oh, good, intellectual birds are also accepted. Welcome, come and challenge, come and question, and let us share intelligence with open mind. That way it is common for every person. Attention is such a capability. It is not ego matter. You may be a president or a peon or a sipahi or a farmer or a housewife, but attention is not anybody's monopoly. Thought can be, it is learning in time, always incomplete, and it can become ego matter, we see. But to understand its place and limit, to live by attention. So this about Gorakhnath, there is a chapter, I have written a chapter, and Kisaji, I will like to send you the text as a present. Please later on send your address to me on our WhatsApp, and maybe anybody sends, I will try to send you, I will send you the book by present, as a present through register post. And so that you understand what Gorakhnath's autobiography is. I have put that in the text. Please, next question. Okay, is it enough?
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
See.
Do we have any other questions for Yogi Surajnath ji?
Welcome. Questions are welcome. We have a little time.
Yeah,
Questions
thank
are
you
welcome.
so much. Darren, did you have anything, any
No,
comments?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming, and it was a pleasure listening to him, and thank you coming from all the way from India. Thank you very much.
Ji, thank you, sir. Thank you. Very glad, very pleased to hear you all, hear this response. Ji.
Thank you so much, Yogi Surajnath ji. It's so very clear. First of all, we understood about thoughts, and then the importance, significance, and the holistic necessity of understanding in whatever we do, whether it is spiritual or something ordinary in day-to-day life. It is not without understanding that we can progress, not without attention that we can progress. So thank you for bringing that knowledge to us. Thank you for...
Yes. We need to give time. We need to work seriously. The meditation work, observation, and sleeping hours are the most serious. Could turn into most serious meditation hours. Sleeping hours, when we are awake while going into sleep, work diligently, patiently, then meditation enters into sleep. And once enter into sleep, in daytime, mind wanders again and again, but once it enters into sleep, by nature, it's law of nature that meditation or observation or presence of the mind continues continuously unbroken until we wake up again. So you see yourself waking up, meditating, waking up with presence, waking up with freshness. So this day-to-day life, our responsibilities, and life doesn't make difference. Life is open. We cannot make a separation as the spiritual life and the worldly life and this and that. No, in our day-to-day life, in our sleep, in our eating, walking, sleeping, this could, with understanding, basic understanding, this could turn into most and direct way. And there is no other way. There is no alternative. There is no option.
What time are you going to be up?
Yeah, there is no option. Yes, that's right. That's beautiful. There is no separation. There is no separation. Attention is required in everything that we can do, in doing and also non-doing. Non-doing, which may seem like it's non-doing, like you said, how when we go to sleep, but we're still in a meditative state, even in our sleep, and even then it is attention that leads us forward and helps us. Yeah.
Yes, non-doing is very arduous. It is non-doing, but it doesn't happen unless you do it. So the Krishnamurti coined a phrase in his latter life: effortless effort.
Effortless effort. That's a beautiful way of explaining it. Thank you so much.
Non-doing, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Yogi Surajnath ji. Actually, we now come to the end of our Enlightenment Day event 2023. It was an absolute honor. I cannot tell you how privileged and honored we are to have you with us, and also for you to conclude our session with this wonderful and powerful understanding of attention and the diversity of thought which can be tamed through attention and move us towards enlightenment. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank all the wonderful audience who have been with us, who have given us time and spent these 2 days with us. I'd like to tell you that the recordings will be made available soon, and you can watch the different sessions again. You can also send us questions. If you have any questions, you have my email address, and we will get back to you with the answers from the speakers. We will do our best to get that to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much again, Yogi Surajnath ji. This is wonderful. Thank you. We got to see you. It was wonderful to see you. It was wonderful to see where you are. It's so beautiful over there where you are. It's bright daylight with greenery at the back. So thank you for letting us be a part of your beautiful environment as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Colin, for being with us. Thank you, Darren. Again, Yogi Surajnath ji, thank you so very much. Thank you.
To all of you.